Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday, your #1 resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. This is November 19th, 2019. Alright, so if you've been watching this channel over the past few weeks, you'll know that I've been hyping up the 24-hour VR stream like crazy, and good news is that it finally happened just this past weekend. We started out with about 14 hours straight of VR Minecraft, did a little Pavlov to keep the blood flowing, and finished out in VR chat. At the end of the day, I just had an extremely interesting experience spending that much time straight within VR, and I'll definitely be elaborating on that experience in the future, maybe making a video about it, but either way, if you showed up, I just want to give you the biggest of thanks. A few people legit pretty much stayed and chatted for the entire 24 hours, and I gotta say I couldn't have done it without you. And if you couldn't make it, then that's okay too. We're live multiple times a week on Twitch, including today. I'll just leave that link in the pinned comment. Alright, well this last week has been absolutely insane in terms of VR news, so let's just jump right into it. Not sure if you all noticed, but one of the biggest game announcements of the past decade just took place yesterday by, of course, Valve. And the best part about it is that we are at the center of it, the virtual reality crowd that is. HalfLife Alex has been announced to be the first big VR game from Valve, and I gotta say, from someone that has been a Half-Life fan pretty much since the time I could play video games, and a VR junkie from the moment I tried my first VR headset, these two worlds meeting couldn't have made me any happier. I'll get into what exactly I think this means for the VR industry in just a second, but first let's talk about everything we know so far. So just this past Monday, the 18th, Valve apparently made an entirely fresh Twitter account to confirm their circulating rumors and announce their first flagship VR game, HalfLife Alex. This picture and a couple sentences given by Valve is literally all we know at the time. But in just a couple days, that being Thursday, November 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific time, a full reveal will take place and we should know much more of the specifics. Now onto what this actually means for us. Well, there are pretty much three sides of this whole argument. Us as VR enthusiasts are freaking out because we are likely going to get something very special in a beloved franchise, and it feels amazing to have someone like Valve give VR its full attention. Then you have a decently large group of people that are suddenly far more interested in investing both their time and money in VR because, well, now they have a reason to. If you were on the edge of buying a VR headset for a long time and you're one of the millions of Half-Life fans, well, now you have a pretty solid reason to make the full jump. And of course, the final group. A whole new wave of uneducated, salty, flat-screen gamers that are pissed off about the whole situation. I have heard every ignorant statement from VR is like using Wiimotes with a 3D TV strapped to your face to VR is just a gimmick, Valve is wasting their time. Really, this whole situation is ironic because for years people have said, once VR gets good games, I'll be interested, and now that a gigantic game in a franchise that is loved by so many people is announced for VR exclusively, a rift is created between flat-screen gamers and people that have been in VR for all this time. HalfLife Alex is undoubtedly putting a giant spotlight on VR right now. I'm not going to say necessarily that an announcement of this caliber validates our platform because I don't think we necessarily need validation right now, but it certainly puts a lot more eyes on what's going on over here. This, of course, can backfire. I want everyone to be fully aware of that. I'm avoiding hyping up the game itself right now because all we know is the name, it's for VR, and some details on how the doors were created, I guess. I'm not going to say this is the best thing to ever happen to VR just yet, because it very well could be a terrible thing if the game is broken or bad or doesn't fully utilize VR. If the jokes about Half-Life VR being an on-rails wave shooter with teleport-only locomotion actually came to fruition, then yeah, a lot of people would once again be dismissing VR as an arcadey gimmick. Really, we all just have to wait and see. These are exciting times for all of us, and just before I jump to conclusions about how this is going to be the thing that kicks off VR, I need to see some gameplay. Luckily, that should just be a couple days away, or if you're watching this after Thursday, then you already know how amazing or not so amazing HalfLife Alex looks. I've got my head up though. This past Monday wasn't all just Half-Life hype, however. Finally, the Quest Link beta has dropped by Oculus. Just a quick sum up, the Oculus Quest is a standalone VR headset with a mobile processor that allows you to play VR without a PC at all. All of the processing power takes place right there within the headset's hardware. This, of course, is at the cost of lowered graphics and overall slightly lower capabilities of the headset in general. And that's the point of the Quest Link. You're now able to connect your headset to a VR-ready PC and use it just like you would any other PC VR headset. This pretty much turns turns the Quest into one of the most versatile and cost-effective ways to do virtual reality at this point in time. Like I said, all you need is a Quest, a decent PC, and a USB 3 cable that ends in a USB-C, and you're off to the races. I already had tried out the Quest Link at Oculus Connect 6 and came back with this video to report on my thoughts, and honestly my stance is the exact same. The Quest needed and deserved this functionality. It's actually an amazing thing for Quest owners, people new to VR, developers on the PC platform, just everyone, to be honest. Does this exceed or replace a Rift S if PC VR is your main focus? No, there's still slightly more latency and the visuals certainly aren't as clear as on the Rift S, just due to the methods of compression used to crunch all that data needed to transfer that data that fast. Now, in terms of the actual cables needed to make this functionality work, you're going to need, like I said, a USB 3.0 cable as well as a USB 3 port on your PC. Otherwise, you'll get this error. So I will confirm that this 15-foot USB A to C cable I ordered that was supposedly USB 3 does not work. Oculus, however, has specific cables that they recommend for you to use until their own $80 Oculus Quest Link cable is released. I, for now, have been using an Amazon Basics USB 3.0 10-foot extension cable paired with an Anker 3-foot cable, and that has been working great for me. I'll put the links in the description if you're interested. There are, however, a few things that you should be looking out for. Only certain cards are even supported by the Link, and it seems that at this point in time, AMD graphics cards are completely unsupported and unusable with the Quest. Supposedly, updates will be coming in the future to support them, but for now, if that's what your system is rocking, you're a little SOL. Right, so Quest Link software is here. A massive number of people now have a great upgrade path to play PC VR, and all you need is that compatible graphics card and a cable. I'd say it's a fantastic Quest perk, but definitely not a full PC VR replacement. I'll be saying this again in the future, but unless you plan on mostly playing only on mobile or you're doing half and half, don't regret your Rift S purchase. If you play a lot of PC VR, the only thing that you'll actually regret is exchanging it for a Quest. Rift S is still the best Oculus has to offer in terms of high quality PC VR gaming. And now onto a meme break! Actually, this is more of a wholesome break. Watching Tyler from Valve News Network's reaction to all of his predictions about HalfLife Alex come true live has to be one of the nicest things that I've seen in a while. A guy that has faced pretty rough scrutiny for his baseless clickbait leaks and predictions see everything come to light in front of everybody is a hashtag relatable feeling. Much love, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And back to the news. So before I talk some game news, let's talk about John Carmack. Just last week, I talked about how Carmack, CTO of Oculus and co-founder of id Software, the company behind classics like Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake, received the VR Lifetime Achievement Award at the VR Awards. Well, gotcha, because later that same week, Carmack announced that he'll be stepping back from VR in general and taking the role of a consulting CTO, saying, quote, "I will still have a voice in the development work, but it will be consuming only a modest slice of my time. As for what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my time, when I think back over everything I've done across games, aerospace, and VR, I have always felt that I have had at least a vague line of sight to the solutions, even if they were unconventional or unproven. I have sometimes wondered how I would fare with a problem where the solution really isn't in sight. I decided I should give it a try before I get too old. I'm going to work on artificial general intelligence. I think it is possible, enormously valuable, and that I have a non-negligible chance of making a difference there. So, by a Pascal's mugging sort of logic, I should be working on it. For the time being at least, I'm going to be going about it Victorian gentleman scientist style, pursuing my inquiries from home and drafting my son into the work. Runner-up for the next project was cost-effective nuclear fission reactors, which wouldn't have been as suitable for that style of work." End quote. So he's still going to be doing work within VR, but as a man that has created some of the most influential video games of all time, literally founded a rocket company, and helped pioneer virtual reality, it's a little expected that someone of his caliber is constantly looking for the next thing to dip his toes into. I don't think this necessarily means all that much for us in the VR industry. I mean, Oculus is still going to be doing Oculus things, game developers are still going to be making games, and will continue to keep moving forward. I do think though that Oculus lost just a bit of its relatable face value, as I know a lot of people think of the company with, yeah, it's Facebook, but if Carmack is here, I'll believe in it. Either way, best of luck, sir. Hopefully the time you do still spend within VR will allow you to still make an impact, and I hope that your future endeavors within AGI satisfy your constant drive to change the world. Just leave HAL 9000 and iRobot out of the equation. Actually, now that I think of it, first virtual reality, now artificial intelligence, is John Carmack actually a secret supervillain trying to make the Matrix a reality? Jokes aside, let's talk some lighter news. I have been a huge Halo fan since Halo's inception. Of course, we have the Master Chief Collection coming to the PC in just a few weeks. Well, at least Halo Reach, the first game in the franchise's lore. Now, if you ask me, one game I would absolutely die for is Halo, but in VR. We've already seen some arcadey Halo-related VR projects pop up over the years, but the same guy that worked on the Alien Isolation VR mod has shown that same work regarding Halo Reach. Admittedly, Zack Fanon has already said that he isn't working on a full mod just yet, and what was shown so far is just a small demo of what is possible. Either way, it got me super excited, and the project is certainly worth watching at the very least. And just a quick bit back on Black Friday deals. Of course, the $50 off the Rift S is still a thing for both Lenovo and Best Buy, but if you are interested in the Quest instead, up until January 31st, the entire Star Wars Vader Immortal series will come bundled with the Quest. At $10 a pop, you're gonna at least save around $30 for the series that I would easily consider a must-have for owners of the device. Other deals that have been announced is the PlayStation VR bundle for $249, which just save for a Quest, to be honest. The Samsung Odyssey Plus WMR headset going for $275, which isn't that bad of a deal if you ask me, and the Pimax 5K XR OLED headset for only $999, which is usually around $1,200 on Amazon. Speaking of deals, I actually have a deal for you regarding GSupps, our very first partner for the channel. And if you've been in my Discord or watched any of the streams, you'll know that I have used GSupps for a while and have been trying to get their attention for the channel for a while as well. And well, we finally got it. GSupps basically replaced energy drinks for me, as I think they taste better, have zero sugar, and keep me energized while making videos or doing stupid 24-hour streams. Plus, they're a hell of a lot more cost effective. And if you use discount code THRILL on the GSupps website, you get 10% off of your next order. Personally, I've been sipping on the Dragon Fruit Punch lately if you want a recommendation. Alright, and that's the week's news. I hope you enjoyed. Thank everyone that you see here for being an amazing Patreon supporter. I legit couldn't be doing this without all of you. Well, like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out.